Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another one-on-one with Jerry Hall. Today's guest is multi-talented Mr. Erick von Schulz. Hollywood producer, movie maker, been in the biz forever, started sweeping floors for free. Now is wrapping a couple of movies from a location in Asia. He's come back to New York. We sit down, we talk about hustling, right? We talk about making things happen. He's an incredibly smart guy. Interests include technology, coding, business and capital formation. He's been mining Bitcoin for 7 years, and he loves XRP. We're going to have that conversation right after this. So Erick, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. How are you?
Doing great. Great to be on your channel. I love
Right
your
on.
stuff.
Where are you broadcasting from today?
Today, I am in Chapel Hill, North Carolina at my kid's place.
Right on. Well, I asked you that because I know you're a world traveler. So
Okay.
I wanted to, having met you and enjoyed what I'm getting from your YouTube channel as it pertains to XRP, crypto as a whole, I invited you on the show because I think that you got a really compelling story as it pertains to how does a Hollywood producer, entrepreneur type guy who's made his money in traditional markets find this new crazy innovative world of blockchain and crypto, and what attracted you, and like what's that story like?
Okay. Well, when you're doing when you're doing movies, a lot of downtime. Like you'd shoot for, say, 90 days, 30 days, sometimes 18 days, 90 days if you're lucky, 2 years if you're Kubrick. But let's say average of literally 18 to 30 days. Then you have post-production. So I'd sit at my house, and I had my studio at my place, and I can do my post-production work. But I've always been into technology. I started working with Atari back in the 80s, and I've always been in technology. And when Bitcoin came along, I started mining on my computer back in the day. Back when Bitcoin first came out, I started mining the coins. I didn't treat it with respect like I do now, so I lost tons and tons of coins. Probably, I don't know, millions of dollars, I'm sure, millions and millions of dollars I've lost that are never going to be returned. That's when they talk about a big percentage of Bitcoin that's lost. I can attest to it because I would collect them. The way the wallets were back then were very difficult. Today, it's pretty easy to get into crypto, but back then it was very difficult. The wallets weren't easy. It was new technology. We were pioneering this because when Satoshi came up with that blockchain technology, I was just playing with it. I didn't understand the ramifications like I do today. And so as I more and more got into it and said, holy crap. And then when it went to 20,000, when Bitcoin went to 20,000, I was like, this is the future of money. And I was just in ever since. And I've been just grinding away I'm still mining to this day. And so I just kind of, because of the downtime in the movie industry, because I've always worked on alternative sources of income, because the movie industry, you don't make tons of money a lot of times. There's not always, there's 1% of the people are Spielberg. The rest of people are like me that you make a good living. Don't get me wrong. I've had Ferraris and V12 twin turbos and 6 cars and 10 acres and beautiful homes. And I've been very lucky and blessed that way. But it's difficult to make really good money all the time unless you have home runs. And all the films, usually 1 in every 10 films make money. 9 out of 10 films lose money. No one talks about that, but that's a fact. Right. But in crypto, most of the crypto is crap as far as I'm concerned. And so for myself, I started looking at, when crypto really started getting big, analyzing what is going to be the future and fundamentals, and treat it like the stock market and stocks. And that's, kind of led me from the beginning of crypto, not taking it seriously, mining away, just collecting them and playing with them, to treating it like a serious business. And treating it as serious as I do films.
No, I totally get that. So obvious. Okay, so Bitcoin brought you in, and it's through that Bitcoin journey that you saw that there was a greater digital asset space, and some of these, out of the thousands upon thousands of projects, yes, some of these actually might be gems. Let's walk through that. What does it look like for you when you're evaluating a project? What are the things you're looking for?
Okay. Well, I look at it like, is it fundamentally going to change the future of the world? First thing I look for. I'm looking for the next Amazon, the next Apple. Like, I'm looking for the next iPhone that can change the planet. And I came across XRP and said, these guys are amazing. They have an incredible team. They have an incredible platform. They're working with the people. The things that people complain about is actually their benefit. People complain it's not decentralized. Well, they're more and more decentralized. 83% of their nodes now are owned by the public, not them. They only own 17% of their own nodes. So they can be outvoted. Now, Ripple can be outvoted because of their nodal structure. But people forget about banks are heavily regulated. So you have to work within this regulation. So when I came across XRP, I was like, oh, these guys are fantastic. They're trying to change the world. These guys, and whether they succeed or not, I can't predict. I think they're going to. I'm all in. I love XRP. I'm not in a ton of crypto. I'm not. Some people are in 50 or 100. I'm in 5. And XRP is one of them. VeChain's another. VeChain, I went and researched. I love VeChain and started analyzing it. And there's a big problem with counterfeiting. I lived in Asia. I've been in China. I've been all over. And they say you sell something to China once, and then they duplicate it, and then you're fighting against your own. They're complete. I can't say criminals, but they counterfeit everything, and the food even there. So Walmart is working with VeChain to your RFID on all their food chain and distribution platforms, so they can guarantee the food that they sell is actually the real food that gets to the facility, and they can scan it on the blockchain where it can't be manipulated. So that is, to me, huge, which is why I like VeChain, which they're under a penny. Now, if this was a stock market company, that thing would be $10, but it's VeChain, it's crypto, and very undervalued. And so I treat it like the stock market was in the 1700s. Can you imagine 1704? The stock market's been around since 1600, from a Dutch colonial village till got to America, 1704. And then started on Wall Street with a group of investors. And they were selling their stocks. And that's how crypto is today to me. It's so new and people don't understand it. And they're trying to explain people how stock has value. But I did a video today about how stock is worthless. It's just like they said, Warren Buffett says crypto is worthless. But stocks are worthless. They're only worth what someone's willing to pay. Because if you have a piece of paper, a stock, it doesn't do anything. But blockchain has utility. So I look for utility, function, future life-changing ability of this technology. And the crypto is just part of that puzzle. I don't care about the crypto, truthfully. I care about the companies that can change the world. Crypto just happens to be the conduit of part of what they're doing. But I'm not in this because it's cryptocurrency. I'm in it for companies that are changing the world.
Very well said. It's funny. I was editing a video that I recorded this morning that's looking at kind of the truth, right? I mean, I had expectations when I got into this market that haven't come to fruition on my timeline. However, the innovation that underpins this whole enchilada just keeps marching along like, it's unstoppable. And adoption, well, with innovation comes mechanisms for adoption. And we're seeing that with, things that weren't available a year ago, i.e. payer ID, i.e. global ID, that allow, right, a normal person like myself to conduct business in a crypto environment using existing national and global regulations as it pertains to moving money around. These were important elements that weren't here a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So I couldn't be any more bullish. And I, like you, looked at, okay, who are creating products that will have a market fit and have a really good chance at mass adoption? Well, Ripple was a no-brainer because literally everything is associated to a payment, whether it be a client and a service provider, a customer and a product, a business getting material to create a product, and then all of the downstream supply chain stuff, where how it moves, how it ships, how it's displayed, who the retailer is, all of those things. So Ripple was a no-brainer for payments, right? I mean, a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Cardano to me was the quintessential company building the proper foundation for programmable money,
Yes.
right? Smart contracts, executing agreements, payment, governance, contractual.
Yeah, that's another one of mine is Cardano also.
Sovereignty. And then VeChain with supply chain management. So those are my three assets that I'm in. Primarily XRP, that's my largest holding. Cardano is my second largest holding from a dollar perspective, not an amount of tokens, and then VET. And I think those three, I'm good. You know, there's some other projects I really like. I love Casino Coin. I really think that it's got something going on and could really do something incredible. But I'm like you, I think a lot of the projects on the board today are garbage.
Yeah.
And, you know, they may turn out to be something later, but I would rather put my money into three things that I see have the best chance of success than scattered it amongst 100, like that old VC mindset, thinking, okay, if I throw 100 darts, one of them is going to hit bullseye.
Yeah, yeah. And I do have my gambling side. I'm in a few companies. I won't mention them what they are right now. I bought 10 million recently and 10 million worth of coins in one company and a few million in another. They're pretty cheap, but they're just speculative. And if I find anything that really, if they can get a little tipping point, and hopefully they do it still while the price is very low for people, because when I try to talk, I see some people, it looks like they're trying to pump the price, and I get mad about that. And that's why I started doing my own videos. Not that I'm the super expert. I'm just very well versed in with the stock market. And I just apply that principles to the cryptocurrency world. But like, and my channel, like your channel, we're not like moon boy hype. It's going tomorrow when XYZ crosses this, it's going to $86. You know, no one can predict the prices. And I'm just looking at solid fundamental, you know, that can possibly go. I was thinking 3 to 5 years to see some really movement, in 10 years, really to see the massive amounts where I think there should be. I could be wrong. It could be way sooner. It could be 1 or 2 years away. This COVID thing, the monkey wrench and everything, you know, even the movie business, every movie I'm working on shut down now that I've finished. I finished up my last of my films, but I had a few in the pipeline, completely shut down right now. They're defund. They're gone. They're not even going to, these things maybe will get refinanced in the future, but they've just been shut down. So this is affecting everybody on every level. But the thing I like about crypto is don't need anybody to get into these games back in the day. This is what I like about XRP. We'll talk about XRP real fast. If XRP was pre-IPO, me and you couldn't get in. The VC people are getting in. All of them are getting in. But right now, we're getting in pre-IPO. No one understands this, that we're getting in. And they don't forget, XRP was $3 a while back. And now it's 19 to 20 cents, 18 to 20 cents, bouncing around there. If it went down to a penny, I'd be still buying. I will continue to buy and build up because I have faith in this company. I'm not buying it as a cryptocurrency. I'm buying it in the company. Now, if they go IPO, I will probably buy stock as well. But we will be at the opening rate of what could it be? $35, $26 coming out the gate. Could be $65. I don't know. But right now, everyone that's seeing crypto, they get at 20 cents. And when XRP goes to an IPO, what will that do to the XRP price?
You mean when Ripple, the company?
Ripple, Ripple, the company. Sorry, when Ripple goes to IPO, XRP, which is the cryptocurrency that kind of we talked about, like the oil, the fluid part of XRP to help facilitate all the payments, that value I think will go up because the awareness will go up. We'll get a lot of awareness, and then it might bring more people into the market. But the thing that's really going to bring the value up is the adoption from the banking, from the finance world. Like they just got Pay ID. The more things that get adopted into XRP that can raise the value. You know, people say, "Oh, there's 100 billion out there," and I do a video on breaking down 100 billion is nothing. Explain why. It's nothing.
No, I love that you talked about. Well, I think what your video did that I really liked, the one that you actually explained the price and broke down the circulating supply and what it would take to actually increase the price. And you took it in segments of population. So this number of people buying this much, or this number of people buying that much. What I think that really spoke to, and not a lot of people discuss this in their quote unquote cryptocurrency videos is that we have a very, very small market. There are only approximately 35 million people on a 7 billion people planet investing in cryptocurrencies.
Yeah. And most people,
we have to keep that in mind,
are very small. The most people are in the $25 to $50 range, not into, we're the minority. Anyone over, if you have over $4,000 in digital currency, you are ahead of maybe 90% of the planet, maybe 95%, maybe 99% of the planet.
Yeah, it's staggering.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, like this video I did today, I'm banking on, my investments are banking on the greed of Wall Street. You know, with a global investor base of about 550 million people and only 35 million people invested in crypto. Don't think for 1 second Wall Street taking a look at companies like Binance and Coinbase that are posting profits of up to $1 billion a year.
Yeah.
Off of a 35 million customer base. They're not looking at their 550 million customer base going, how many products can I sell each customer?
JP Morgan just got into Coinbase. They're working with Coinbase now. So JP Morgan is working with Coinbase.
We're looking at a Cambrian explosion coming up here, and I'm really excited about that. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. Tell me what you think. What's beyond the parabolic move for you? Because truth be told, nothing goes to the sky and stays there forever. Gravity has this wonderful effect on things. So what do you see Erick doing beyond the parabolic move? Let's say it happens. The parabolic move takes place. You've placed your bets. Now the cashier is pushing your chips towards you. What do you see yourself doing?
Well, for me, I talk about this. I'm not selling any of my crypto. I'm not selling anything. I'm going to be in the Celsius network, which I am in right now, and it pays interest rate on my money because it goes up and goes down. Now, you can try to time the market. There's two schools of thought. I talked to someone recently about this. If it shoots up and goes crazy, and let's just say Bitcoin went to $180,000 and XRP went to $30, you can take your profits, hold it in USD stable coin, wait for the price to drop because it's going to drop, and then buy back into it. Or like I do, it's just buy it, hold it. I'm looking at 20 years down the line. I might not be alive, but I'll have some rich. I got a foundation that I do, and I will put the money into that. And so for me, I'm looking at multi-generational wealth beyond me. I live below my means. I live so cheap now. I sold off. I had I literally had six car garage, multi-million-dollar home on the lake. I had a place, in California, and I was, and I had places around the world. Sold everything, and I am just living lean. And there's some people living above their means. I know people that were making $2 million a year, broke. Friend of mine right now he's crying because he's barely making any money, making $2 million a year, can't survive on that kind of money. So I'm fine financially that way. So I'm a little different position than the most average person but what I'd recommend for the average person would be maybe if it did shoot off, and let's just say they owned a half a Bitcoin and it went to $180,000, they have 90 grand and they have 3,000 XRP and it went up. It might be a good idea to cash out, go to stablecoin, wait to see where that price falls out, or hold on to that price. They still can go up higher. They can miss the high. Say it went to 225, but they got out at 180, 170, and they didn't miss out on anything. And then it would drop down to say stabilize at 100. They can buy back in now and double up their position. And then now they got more crypto for the next parabolic run, for the long haul. I'm looking at 10 or 15 years down the line. Everyone in my family lives a long time. My grandma told me when I was young, and she lived to be 99. My other one was 98. Prepare to live a long time. No one dies in our family, barring accidents, which my father died when I was young from a car accident. So it does happen. But barring accidents, they live a long time in my family. So I got a good another 40 years to go. Or so.
Right on. I love that optimism.
So I'm looking at 20 years down the line, truthfully, for me. And I'm not looking at 1, 2, 3 years. And if it does, it doesn't change my lifestyle. I'm not changing my lifestyle. If I had $100 million tomorrow, I'm not going to go buy a $30 million house. You know, I'm not going to, I will never live. I got a comfortable life and I don't care about that. I've just gone through so much. I've been lucky because I had a lot of success, but I grew up very poor with nothing. So I understand, you know, how to live below your means, how to survive. And I'm doing great. I love my lifestyle right now. I just can go anywhere in the world. I can live anywhere and for very cheaply. I'm talking about, I can live on easily. I live way above this, but I can easily live on 25,000, 30,000 a year around the world anywhere. I live way above that, but I can easily do it. So it's a tough question. For me personally, it's a different story. For the average person, you know, we got to think about, you know, it's unique for everybody. It's their situation. Like for yourself, example, you know, you're unique. You're in Costa Rica now. You got low overhead. So if you made $1 million tomorrow, you're not going to go crazy. You're going to just do a notch up above your lifestyle currently, probably right now. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what I would do.
Okay.
Right? If I had $1 million right now, I would make sure that I was in investments that paid me to own them so that I would be generating a passive income. Now, you could assign whatever percentage you want to it. So let's say my passive income was 3% on that $1 million, right? Then what I would do is I would live a lifestyle that only required 2.25% of that to live off of, and I would allow that 0.5% to add to the principal and compound over time.
Yeah.
And that's the secret. So it doesn't, it doesn't, like right now I live on about under $5,000 a year, right? So if my $1 million could generate me $10,000 a year, then I would only I'd live off of $7,500 a year and allow $2,500 to go into the principal and continue to compound.
But I mean, your $1 million would generate over 51,000 to 52,000 a year in other networks right now without touching your principal, you know.
That's the point. But I don't want people to get caught up in the dollar amounts. They need to understand percentages.
Yes.
So if
that's why I like some of your other videos explaining some of the
because everybody's going to have a different deal. You know what I mean? Here are some things that I found super important, and I've learned them over the course of my 2 years being in this space, gaining some financial knowledge, getting some financial literacy, and that is the best place. Here's one of the best quotes as it pertains to debt. Be the person collecting the interest, not the person paying the interest.
Yes.
Oh, what a concept. So guess what? I'm debt free.
That's what DeFi is doing for everybody. This whole entire DeFi movement is that we can become the bank. For example, we own the crypto. They borrow from us, and there's people that borrow that crypto, like those day traders and everybody else that borrow that crypto that we own and hold from us. And now there's institutions that pay us that kind of are the intermediary.
And the intermediary, exactly.
Yeah, they pay us. So we're now in a sense the bank, which what the banks are getting afraid of. But they'll get their foot in the door in some certain other areas because we'll need them to facilitate transactions or other things. But now once we hold the crypto and you own the gold and people want to borrow that gold and you loaning it out, you know, there's places that are paying up to 12% and legitimate ones. There's some crappy ones out there, but, you know, do the research. And there's some really good ones out that pay 4.9 to 12%. So that's massive.
Serious money.
That's massive money.
When it's all about order of magnitude, right? So if you're dealing with $10,000, it's a little different than dealing with $1 million.
Yes, or 10 million, or 100 million, which
or 100 million, exactly. Yeah. So the point is, what I try to do on my channel and what I see you doing on your channel is just illustrating very sound business practices that have been expounded upon time and time again by very successful investors, tried and true principles that if applied to a good preparational plan and then executed, the result is success. You know what I mean? I've seen enough of these lottery winner video mishaps to know that there are going to be a shit ton of people who put money into this new nascent asset class who capitalize to numbers that are very large and that are going to be broke very shortly because they don't know how to manage the money. See,
Yeah, I did it
getting the
myself.
wealth is only one part.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I've done it myself. I mean, I made tons of money when I was young and blew it and had to rebuild up from there. And after that, I was like, "Whoa, I'm never doing that again." But it was hard to on that second rebuild. You know, it was tough.
Oh,
So
me too. Me too.
yeah,
Money always came very easy to me. People would always hire me to do stuff. And as my skills increased, what I could charge for my time increased. But it never clicked that as long as I was using my time to make money, I would always be limited. And that never clicked for me until heck, I got to be about 50 years old. And then I went, oh, wait a second. I don't want to work 10, 12 hours a day anymore. I don't. You know what I mean?
yeah. I've always owned. I mean, luckily I understood that when I was younger. So I did buy businesses that
Yeah.
would bring me the income, and like whether I was there or not, I built up a large chain of video stores. I've done a lot of businesses. I own some few right now that I've become partners in. And so I did learn that luckily. And so I had those streams of income that would come in, even doing movies, doing music. I've written hundreds of songs. I still get money that comes in every single month that comes in from songs I've
Oh,
written
the
that are in movies
royalties.
and things. Yes, you get the royalties from films and from stuff. So I've been kind of lucky that way. And just the multiple streams of income is very important for everybody. But I still look at crypto as I talked to, there's a guy that I talked to the other day. He's 54 years old. He's never invested one dime in his life. He's like, what am I going to do? I'll make smart choices in crypto. And I gave him a breakdown of what I was doing, which I said I don't really promote anything I don't do myself, and showed him. And he's like, oh, well, at least I said, now this doesn't mean it's successful. It doesn't mean we're going to be 100% right. We could be wrong. It could shift to somewhere else. I just think that through the research we've done and you've done, some other people have done, we're backing the best decision we can at this point right now with the information we have.
That's right.
For companies that can be wildly successful, and we're getting in very low price point, which we couldn't get into if it was another industry. Like if this was the stock market and it was a company going VC, we don't have billions of dollars to get into these companies.
Yeah, none of us got an opportunity to buy Amazon at 0.008 cents per unit.
Exactly, but we all have the opportunity to get into VeChain at rates like that.
Right.
Or XRP. And I'm not recommending any stock because I'm not a financial advisor, recommending cryptocurrencies. Like I said, as yourself, these are what I'm in. I'm in, Bitcoin and VeChain and XRP and a few others. And you just never know if you're going to be right or wrong. We don't know. We don't. I'm hoping we are. I hope we are. but I do believe the technology of these companies that we're mentioning here are the ones that will fundamentally change the future. And that's why I like to back. Ones that can really change the game for me, you, and everyone who's watching. Their kids are going to see this. And if they hold on to this and some of these correct decisions that we're trying to give information out and people to make these decisions of not dumping it when they hit the lottery, say it goes parabolic, they're sitting on $1.5 million. Because today, you guys, $1.5 million is nothing. I know people that can burn through that in a weekend. And easily you can burn. I know people, I said, I got a guy living on $2 million a year that can't survive. So $1.5 million is nothing. If you live below your means, living like yourself, Jerry, of course, no problem. But the average person lives above their means. The consumerism in America, and I've talked about this before. I don't know what it is, but they all think if they make 100,000, they live on 120,000, have 20,000 in credit debt or 30,000 in credit debt.
It's what we were. Okay, you and I are both products of being born in the 60s, right? Yeah. And really, really formulating our worldview as it pertains to what is money, how is it used, what do you do with it, all came the very end of the 70s and all through the 80s. That's where we really established our worldview around money. And that happened to be a time at least in US history, where there was a tremendous push towards debt expansion, that monetary policy was built around the economy growing not from a base of innovative products, but by expanding debt. Debt was our GDP, the debt creation, right? And there were people that profited from debt, those people that collect the interest, and there were the knuckleheads like me that got into debt so that I could expand my stuff, motorcycles, televisions, nicer furniture, stuff that I won't name because there may be children listening.
Yeah.
But that was how you and I, that was the world we lived in. The Reagan administration really pumped consumerism to make America strong.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I stayed in debt from the time I got my first credit card at 19 to the time I turned 50. And when I turned 50, I became, I got woken up real clear that my clock, my biological clock for life was ticking, and I didn't want to be a slave to the consumerism stuff anymore. And so I made some major changes, and that's when I got debt free, and that's when I sold everything and went and lived in Hawaii and working on, organic farms, volunteering my time for food and board,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like I wasn't in debt, but I was owned by the things that were around me. I had a lot of cars and homes, and I was like, I am not free. I'm freaking trapped. Just like I had like over 75,000 in repairs in this one house in a year. Now, luckily I was able to afford it, but I'm like, I'm $75,000 in repairs. And I had a car repair bill on my Mercedes that was like 15 grand. I was like, I can go buy a car for $15,000.
That's right.
And that's my repair bill. It was a twin turbo V12, just ridiculous AMG 65 Mercedes, which I love. But I'm thinking poison, all of it. So I just started selling, scale down to minimal. And this is the greatest period of my life at 52 years old that I've had. I was trapped the last 30 years in possessions, in crap. Now I got the cash. I can do whatever I want, and I'm not sucked into all that consumerism crap. I was like you said, like you bought everything, Amazon, and it was like Christmas every day at my house. Piles of stuff coming in every day, And now it's very lean, which I love. I love this lifestyle.
Yeah, I will tell you that I'm living leaner than I would like to.
Yeah, I understand that.
But, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I am eventually going to have the resources to build the home that I want, to facilitate the small farm that I want, to have my consulting practice that I want. You know what I mean? Everybody says, I'm not a financial advisor, da-da-da-da-da. Well, I am. I am a wealth manager. I'm just not your wealth manager. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You and I do not have a contractual agreement for me to manage your funds.
Yes.
Some people do.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. My wife, she's been in Morgan Stanley for over 30 years.
Right.
And so she is a wealth manager, and they just raised, and this during this whole entire thing, I think like they raised $100 million recently on some stuff. There's still tons of money out there, people. There's tons of money and opportunity, and they can't talk. Like I said, they're so limited. That's why I understand when I saw crypto. Even my wife, who said she was totally against crypto, when she started reading the reports and the stuff I was pulling out, she's all in crypto. She loves it. So we convinced
certain cryptos.
Certainly the ones I'm involved in, the ones I've gone through and done the research on. She's not like, Dogecoin. Here we go. It's got a puppy on it, which I make fun of all the time, which I hate.
Oh, that's so cute. Let's put a couple $100,000 into that. No.
Yeah.
No, but it's easy to see. What an incredible conversation. Eric, thank you so much for your friggin' time. Any final thoughts before we wrap this sucker?
Just tell people out there, just like, do your research. Don't take anyone's word for it. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Jerry's word for it. Do your own research. Look out there. And if you don't know, use our videos as a guide to say, oh, okay, that one I like because they like it. And then you can do some more research and then make your own opinion, because this is your money, your future, and your life that only you can make decisions, And that would be the best advice I can give if you're getting into the crypto market. And live below your means. I've been saying that forever, as Jerry does himself, and as I do now. Live below your means. Your life will be so much easier.
It sure does. It sure takes a lot of the stress out of life.
Yes.
Folks, what an incredible conversation. We've got a Hollywood producer, entrepreneur, tech magnate, found his way to crypto and has changed his life. We all have a story to tell, and I hope here on One-on-One with Jerry Hall to bring you many of them as we continue through this journey together. So, on behalf of Eric and myself from Costa Rica and North Carolina, Pura Vida.